Delhi Technological University, DTU. I studied electrical and electronics engineering. It was 9.43 on a scale of 10, and I was department rank 2. It was 325, 166 in quant, and 159 and 4.01 AWA. As far time is concerned, I spent a good amount of time, around 1.5 months. And I contacted seniors and took their advice on how to go about it initially. Then I wrote all my experiences, which I can add on to my SOP, and how, keeping in mind what Berkeley focuses on, and how, and linked basically my earlier experiences, projects, and whatever I had with what Berkeley focused at, whether it is anti-racism or whether it's equity intent, fairness is an algorithm. I tried linking those projects with those things. So that was one part. And secondly, the important part of SOP was how I transitioned from an electrical background to data science or a software background. So that is one important part which I think one should definitely highlight if he or she is not from a CS background. Third is why MIMS and why UC Berkeley. That is the most important part of SOP. How you think you can contribute to Berkeley, and how can Berkeley help you achieve your goals. That is what I focused the most upon. And how can I be a good fit at Berkeley? What professors I would like to work with, and overall, I built up an overall story. So that is the basic approach I followed. Apart from that, it is very important to note when you are mentioning a project, what all nitty-gritties you want to mention. You can't mention each and every detail. So you need to think which would look good. I mean, you can't extend the SOP more than 2 pages as per Berkeley guidelines. So that is one important part. What all information you want to add, how much details you want to add, and what kind of impacts you can add. And you need to customize your SOP depending upon the college. So that is an important part of the application SOP, I believe. What separates Berkeley from any MIMS program is its flexibility. I mean, I can make this program entirely technical. I can make this program entirely management. That depends upon me. I am free to take courses from the Berkeley Haas department as well as from the CS or the statistics department. So this is not any regular MIMS program, I believe, and I only apply to this MIMS program. Apart from that, as I said, I wanted to specialize in data science. I applied to data science program else September last week. I tried contacting one of the professor in 2020, and he was kind enough to reply me back with a no. But yeah, he was the only professor I heard, and I mentioned him in my SOP as well. I would say 70 to 75% was as I call it, the base SOP.
Yeah.
And that was common to most of the colleges that I applied to. And apart from that, why that particular college and what professor I want to work with, so that, and what does that course focuses on. And so 25% to 30%, I would say, was customization. Cool. And that took a good amount of 2 to 3 days to research each and every college, and to see all the professors and whose research aligns with you the best. I was in touch with nearly 8 to 10 seniors on LinkedIn, and who guided me on how to build your SOP and what all I can include. So that really helped me, and I noted all their points and kept in mind to include all those in the SOP. I believe talk to seniors, that is very helpful. I mean, people are quite generous to reply back on LinkedIn, and it really helped me. And know your program well before starting your SOP, and basically see what your program focuses on, and then align your SOP according to that. So, the admission committee should also know, okay, this candidate knows our program very well. So that helps. I mean, I mentioned one of the professor's achievements in the program. So I think these small things do stand out. National and one academic. One was from Deloitte, one was from my internship, and one was from my professor who knew me from the past 3 years. It was conducted by a member of the admission committee, and usually the length is 20 minutes, 20 minutes it was. Yeah. Okay, I talked, as I told you, I talked to the seniors whom I was in contact with, and as per my experience, they have already read my application. So they wanted to know, you can't judge an applicant only by the what you are reading, by his essays. A one-to-one conversation is always required. So they wanted to hear what all I have written by themselves, and to check, basically, I believe there was one aim was to check my communication skills, my soft skills basically, and how well I knew the MIMS program, and what were my goals, and why Berkeley. So these were the basic questions which I also prepared for, and which they also asked. So this is the main aim, that once they like your application, they would like to know on a much personal level. An integral part of the application is statement of purpose and the essays we write. So we know what we have done. We have all our things in place, and I believe even if an applicant has a great work experience, a great projects, papers, um, uh, a professional eye or an experienced eye is necessary to structure it well. To basically, we have limited space, and in limited space we need to tell our story. So even if we have everything, a great profile, a professional eye and is required to basically point out the nitty-gritties and any errors, or which any paragraph which could be stated well. So that is where scholar strategy comes into play, and I believe it helped me a lot in structuring my SOP well, and cleaning the SOP basically, and telling me how to approach it. Because I knew I had a decent profile, and looking at other admits from the previous year, I knew I can make it, but I needed some guidance on how to approach the SOP. So that is where scholar strategy basically helped me.
Right.
Berkeley asked that don't mention the work that you did, mention the impact, what you created. Don't tell me, show me what you did. So that is one thing which I kept in mind while writing the bullet points for the work, for the impact that I did, and not keeping it very technical, but in a way that if any layman, or even if any person from the admission committee reads it, they understands the work that I did, and not using any technical jargons. So that
Right.
is what I kept in mind, keeping it very simple, to the point, and including the impacts. UC Berkeley is basically a public university, and so it is very easy. I mean, not very easy, but it's easy to get a TA or a RA, teaching assistantship, which basically covers your 50% tuition or more than that even, and also gives you an hourly stipend, which covers some part of your living expenses. So that is one way, and as per my conversation with my seniors, nearly all the Indians in the program received it last year. And what I have seen on LinkedIn, the trend is that everyone manages to get one. So the cost substantially reduces with that. And apart from that, you can take loans. That is a standard procedure.
Right.
And the internship amount also helps in contributing to your studies. And apart from that, TARA is the main. And Berkeley also gives few scholarships based upon some merit scholarships, I believe. So that is another way. Basically, Berkeley is looking to bring in a diverse cohort, diverse 50 plus students. So personal history is basically to know you on a more personal level. So they have given a list of standard questions on their website, and I tried also relating my experiences to those questions, and that's how I approached it. So many students have done many volunteering in NGOs or any social work. That is a good point where one can start. And how I approached it, I listed my childhood experiences. For example, I grew up in a joint family, so which is quite rare nowadays, especially abroad. So that so how that shaped me. And then I mentioned how I volunteered at cultural festivals and NSS during my undergraduate, and how those experiences have shaped my life, and what I learned from those experiences, any leadership experiences, especially in the underprivileged groups. So that is one more important part. Also, your research for social good. That was the research intern that I did. I included that, and how I can contribute more. Apart from that, the CSR initiatives that one does, so that's another thing which one can include. Yes, there was an information problem statement or an information essay. It is basically a short essay, and the word limit is 300 words. They have mentioned. So basically, we need to highlight any information problem, basically any data related problem that we solved,
Okay.
and what approach did we followed. And the idea is basically to include as many nuances, as many nitty gritties as possible, and any challenges if you overcome and how did you overcome it. So that is
Right.
an important part as well, basically to show your problem solving skills and analytical skills.